Good morning, everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude, and I'm with my friend Fred at Bobcat. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning, Danny, the average dude, Allison. Happy Friday. Let's take a
Let's
sip.
get, let's
Man,
do it. Let's get it started. And good
oh,
morning to you, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, X. I mean, we've shotgunned this message in so many different places now, haven't we, Fred?
it's traveling.
It's traveling. It's traveling, and we're creeping up on 200 days straight. What is your? It's not always easy, is it?
No, no. And, unfortunately, I've had to miss a couple.
Yeah, a handful, maybe two or three,
I feel
but
like it's two.
yeah, two, yeah. I knew that Fred would remember how many it was, but this has been something. Every evening during the week, I'm thinking, hey, what are we doing tomorrow? We got to get up. We've got to snap the ball. We think that anyway, but for me and my I guess this time of life, it's a great way. It's a great reminder to do exactly what we're doing, to get your mind right, to set intention, and to get a little positivity going.
Here's the deal. I kind of operate independently. I work at Bobcat of Spartanburg, but I'm not showing up and huddling up for a minute to get all the guys ready for the day. You do the same. Russ Hammond does the same. There's hundreds of people who need to show up, get that little boost, get that little zap of energy for the day, because this is where it comes from. They may not have another source.
Yes, and it can be so hard. We've all been there. You're doing things at the house. You're trying to get out the door. If you've got a family, you're getting the kids off to school. There's so much going on. Trying to go from 0 to 100 and get your mind right before you start doing the thing that you need to do. It's That's not an easy segue. It's
No,
not.
and
It's Yeah.
first sip gives you about 15 to 17 minutes to dial it in.
And let me say this, maybe if I say this out into the void. Good morning, DJ. Good to see you this morning.
DJ.
DJ DJ's ready to have a great day, and we appreciate you being here. But there are things that we can do with this program, with the preparation on my end, including getting the quote. There's all sorts of bells and whistles, and so we're using a very kind of the elementary version of this. So every little bit of extra that I do, I think that's going to help people that watch to do what we do, because I think it's great for us and we want it to be good for them as well. What's on your mind this morning, Fred? I know you've got a lot going on. It's Friday. You're finishing out the week. Tell me where you are mentally.
Mentally, I just got off a work call. It started at 7:30.
Yep.
Right, talking about the compact track loader market, how we doing, how we gonna get market share, finance rates, down payments. So I had to get after it early.
Yeah. You had to start hearing the chatter of what's hot and what's not, and that's always good. Get a little call in, and now we're going to get our mind right. I've got a book that I read back when I first started my personal development journey. It's called The Power of Now. Have you ever heard of it?
No, the power of now. Good morning, David Turner.
David Turner, DT. I bet this guy has read The Power of Now.
You
If
think
you've
so?
read, yeah, if you've read The Power of Now, David, put it in the comments. I have a feeling that maybe he did. I can't remember if I talked to him about that or not, but it's a great book. And what I'm going to do is actually pull up a couple of quotes, and the way that I do that is this right here.
Quote, quote, quote of the day. Quote, quote, quote of the day.
The quote of the day: realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. I'll read it again. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life.
Why is it so hard to do that?
Well,
We all struggle with it.
yes, we do. I mean, and if you're like me, sometimes it's past and future. It's worried about the future and regretful of the past, maybe, right? It's anxiety about the future. It's usually negative emotions that aren't moving the ball forward when we're thinking about past and future. It's like a time machine up here. And so when we have an imagination is great, but if we're always have our head in the clouds, we never have our hands on the current moment. And so it's a big deal for me. That one, yep, there it is. I have. And but that one thought, it really takes. So I've got a couple of points from the book, but that's the basic idea. It's kind of this mindfulness. One example. So with each point that I bring up, I want to make one of the ways
Keep
that
telling us about it.
What, keep telling you?
Yeah, just keep going. Keep telling us about it.
Okay, let me tell you this. The when we're eating, if we're eating, I don't know about you, but I've always just eaten very fast. You're a fast eater?
I try not to be a fast eater.
Yeah. I mean, I've always just been, I can remember in school, people would be like, do you think somebody's going to take your food or what? Because
Yeah.
I would eat so fast. But no, fortunately, I kept my lunch money, and I was able to have chocolate milk and everything and got that down. But I will say, one of the ways that I apply that idea is just enjoying the small things like eating. The weight of the fork, the feel of the plate. It's about really paying attention to the granular moments and using your senses. That's the way that he kind of instructs you to stay in the moment. Put your hands on something, and notice those things that we don't normally notice. So you have to kind of look for the details.
Yeah.
That is helpful because, like you say, the mind, as you said when we first started, the mind wants to think about everything but what we're doing in the present moment. Why is that, David Turner? Why is it that our minds think about everything other than what we should be thinking about?
We talked a little bit about Andy Elliott yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
And one thing that he really talks about is being present where your feet are at that moment. And it's a big deal. Sometimes, let's say we, as a family, we finally get a chance to sit down, enjoy dinner together at the table, all together. The boys eat faster than Lindsay and myself, and then they want to get up and go do something. And we're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Sit down. We're not done. We're eating together. This is the present. Let's enjoy it as a family. It can be that intentional. And I think it has to be.
Absolutely. And we need those reminders. We have to remind ourselves, and we have to observe ourselves. So another thing that he talks about in that book is to be the observer of the thinker. If we're the thinker, it's kind of like you watch your thoughts, you observe your thoughts, and instead of just being caught up in the back and forth and the ebb and flow and chasing that around. You're sitting at a meeting in work. Maybe it's a phone call like you just got off of, and you're thinking, I don't want to be doing this. This is a waste of time. But we don't have to allow ourselves to fall into that thought. We can just observe it, right, Fred?
Yeah, well, you need to observe it and dismiss it for the now.
That's right. Observe it, dismiss it, and find a way to center yourself. One of the ways, and he's got several throughout there, to center himself in the present moment, taking a deep breath. Right? Just so the mind starts acting up, you're running late for an appointment or whatever it is throughout the day, and we need to center ourselves in the present moment. Take a deep breath. You'll see me do that quite often, even if I'm on here. It's take a deep breath, center yourself back in the moment, say good morning to Russ Hammond, and then keep moving. Hey, Russ, I'll see you Monday, by the way, right here at Little River Roasting Company. Me and Russ will have some coffee Monday morning.
Bring him some of those shoes we talked about, Russ.
Do I need some shoes?
Yeah, we picked them out the other day.
Uh-oh. Are they white tennis shoes there? I mean, I've never knew Red Wing shoes to have white tennis shoes.
Well, you'll just have to wait and see. Stop thinking about Monday, okay?
I know.
We're here right now.
We're here right now. We're talking about the power of now. And folks, I will tell you, with this book, what I did when I first started my personal development journey, I'm not doing it an incredible amount of justice this morning, but let me just say this. This book, the audio version with Eckhart Tolle reading the book, he's saying things and trying to repeat what he says. Sometimes it's hard. It doesn't have quite the impact of him saying it. And he's got a really a wonderful way of delivering the information. And it's helpful. I would go on a walk downtown or a walk in nature or something like that. Listen to that audio, and it helps you to stay present. What are you laughing at, Fred Blatton?
Oh boy, tell me about one of your walks in nature.
One of my walks in nature. When you are, let me say this, I never thought in a million years that I had the attitude that I can sense that you have about a walk in nature. I had that attitude, and I realized what a terrible attitude. and I found that I should have been doing it way, 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 way earlier. It was so helpful because, again, when we have a walk in nature is appreciating things that we don't appreciate, seeing things that we don't appreciate. It is that slowing down. It is being in the moment. Seeing nature is all about, in my opinion, you're letting go of all the thoughts. You're letting go of all the thoughts.
So it's not necessarily a trail walk. It could still be in the city, but you're just more aware of the things that pop up naturally. Is that what we're talking about?
I would say that, but I would also say, it's interacting with things. So if you see something on the ground that you haven't seen, you see a plant, you look at that thing, you put your hands on that thing. If you're again, that's how you kind of ground yourself. We use our senses, our sense of perception to ground ourselves into the moment. And so one of the things that I will say often is kind of, what do I see? I will touch. And once you do these things, I mean, I'm trying to communicate it, but once you do these things enough, it becomes natural. You're doing it just like we might get up and go work out. I go on a walk because I enjoy it. It's relaxing. I'm learning things. I'm noticing things, and it's helpful. It allows you to let go of all the mind's chatter. And that's what I'd like to give to folks today. I mean, it's been so helpful for me.
So on your walk, you are more present.
Absolutely. And you just kind of let go. Like we put
Yeah.
this pressure on ourselves of all the things that we're supposed to be in life and all of this. I don't know what it is. And so for me, it's just a chance to exhale.
So we have to figure out, all right, the experience that I'm getting from walking, that feeling, how can I take that to the office? And when I need to have that feeling
Yeah,
to let go of stuff, how do I do it? Well, you may have to get up and walk around the building.
that's right.
You may have to walk up and down the hallway 10 times. And if people look at you weird, it's okay. It don't matter what they think. You trying to get centered.
Absolutely. I've got to give this real quick. There was a story, there was a time period when I worked at a facility where a lot of the folks on the sales team had a vaping and smoking. I was mainly smoking back then years ago. Primarily smoking. They would go out and have their little smoke break, and I would yeah, exactly like that. And on that same break, I would get out there and I would do laps around the building. And they would sit back and they would do what you're just doing and kind of like, what in the world is he doing?
That was a bait.
Yeah, it was cigarettes because that was a long time ago. But I will say I was doing the right thing. I was
Yeah.
walking and they were there thinking, what in the world is he doing? It made me think of that. Hey, happy Friday. Everybody have a fantastic Friday. We will see you next week. We've got good stuff coming as we always do. Get your mind right and have a great day today. Fred, final thought.
Hey, stay away from the water cooler today. Be present.
There it is. Let's roll, folks. Bye-bye.